Good morning and welcome to another episode of the Common Sense Show TV. Today is March the 5th, 2019. Happy Tuesday to all of my folks who are listening. Thank you for joining me on today. Today's topic is going to be Cherish the Moments. Cherish the Moments. So hang tight with me just for a minute. I'll be right back. All right. Good morning and welcome back to the Common Sense Show TV. Happy Tuesday again to you guys. March the 5th, 2019. Today's episode is going to be a little, not somber, I would say, but it's definitely going to be something to think about on today. So first of all, before I even get started, let me give a huge rest in peace to Mr. Luke Perry, who we lost on yesterday. For those of us who are of age, may remember Luke Perry from Beverly Hills 90210. And he was a great actor. And he left us. I think he had a stroke first and then passed away a little later after that. And that's his passing is the reason for this podcast on today. What I want to talk about real quick, on this episode is we need to learn how to cherish the moments that we have with our loved ones. I am a man who have had a lot of losses, as far as family members, relationships and such like that. And those losses are painful. And especially if you did not take advantage of that or not take advantage of, but if you didn't enjoy that person while they were living, and once they're gone, it's a level of guilt that we feel. Me personally, in my life, when my mother passed away in 2007, if you guys heard any of the Knucklehead Chronicles, when I lost her in 2007, that was a very rough time and moment in my life. And it was compounded by the fact that I wasn't really there, at the end. And she passed away. I went to see her the day before she passed away. Even though that day she was unconscious when I saw her, and all that. The guilt after she passed was the fact that I wasn't there. I wasn't the best son. I made mistakes. I took advantage of her. I lied to her. All of that good stuff. And so the guilt of her passing compounded it, made it worse. Even though I had to be strong for everybody else in my family, the whole entire time I was suffering as well, because of the guilt. Now, my brother, who, we shared the same mom, my brother, the guilt he showed outwardly because he was worse than I was. And I want to bring awareness to it because there's nothing in this life more permanent than to see the casket close on someone that you love. Because you can't go back and you can't apologize. You can't say, I wish I would have done better. All this shoulda, woulda, couldas, after they're gone. Because after they're gone, you can't take any of that stuff back. And so part of my progress on my process in my life was forgiving myself for not being the son that I needed. My mother needed me to be. And so what I want you guys to do that's listening is to cherish the moments you have left with family, with friends, with all of that, because you can't take none of it back. Another example of what I'm talking about is cherishing the moments is that I watched a movie called Bohemian Rhapsody. If you haven't watched that yet, please do that. And it was a story, of course, if any of you guys who are Queen fans know Freddie Mercury, who was the lead singer of Queen, was a musical genius, and the band that he had, he misused them. He down talked them, cursed them out in some cases, and he just did not take advantage of the fact that he had friends around him. He contracted AIDS, and he wanted to go back and make amends to his bandmates. And this is in one case, and I guess it's one case to where you can make amends, but in a lot of times, you can't. And so he had AIDS, and he did the AIDS concert back in 1985. Some of you guys won't remember that because you guys wasn't around. I was 10 at the time that came out. I remember that. And he got to say goodbye to all of his fans and all of his bandmates and all that good stuff when he did his song Bohemian Rhapsody. So take a look at that movie if you get a chance. But I want you guys to understand that those people that you have in your life, you get one shot at the title. You get one shot at being a good son, a good husband, a good mother, a good sister, a good auntie, a good cousin. You get one chance at this thing. You don't, second chances in life aren't always guaranteed. And we have to cherish the ones or the moments that we have, because what we don't want at the end of the day is to get that phone call and someone says on the other end of that phone call that they didn't make it. I think about my fiance, Melissa, who is just the strongest woman I know, just so you guys know that. Her father was in a motorcycle accident some years ago, and she got the phone call, and I can only imagine the pain that ripped through her soul when we got that phone call. And luckily her father got a second chance. And some of us, we just don't get that second chance. We just don't, and we have to make sure that we are living our. Hey, and thank you for listening to the Common Sense Show TV. I really appreciate that. This episode and every episode like it is sponsored by the good folks over at Squarespace, where you can get your domain, your online store, and any tools you need for your online business right in one spot. You can also take your website and showcase your work. You can blog and do any, publish any content. You can sell all of your products right there online. Okay. So it's an easy one-stop shop for anything online as far as your business. So what I would like for you guys to do for me is to go over or head on over to squarespace.com/listen for a free trial. And whenever you guys are ready to launch, use the offer code LISTEN to save 10% off of your first purchase of the website or the domain you choose. All right. Again, head on over to squarespace.com/listen. That's LISTEN for a free trial. And when you guys are ready to launch, use that 10% offer code and get that off of your website or your domain. Best life while we have it. Tell the person that you have an art with that you love them, because you can't take it back. You can say I love you after that casket closed, or you can say I love you when they're laying, and you can still see them or they're unconscious. You can say I love you, but they're not going to be able to hear you, which makes that I love you ineffective. So it's very important that we say that, my mama, and my dad, when my brother and I was younger, they always said, this one particular saying, and it said that give me my flowers while I'm living. And we're not talking about physical flowers. We're not talking about, gardenias or whatever. We're talking about give me the affection and give me the love while I'm living, because when I'm gone, I can't experience any of that. So if you're listening to this broadcast, you listen to this podcast right now, and if you are, or have someone who is sick, or you have an art with somebody, especially if it's a parent, go make amends. Go make amends. Go say, I'm sorry. Go say, I love you. Make amends. Call them up and let them know that they are loved. And I think this goes to the epidemic of depression and suicide. Same thing. Tell these people that you love them. Let them know that they're loved. I mean, we got young kids who are in kindergarten and first and second grade that are committing suicide because they're being bullied, because nobody tells them that they love them. So make sure that we put all of the nonsense, the negativity, all of it to the side, and tell these people and tell our loved ones that we love them, because you don't always get that second chance. Going back to my family with my mother, my mother died in 2007. My favorite auntie died a year later, almost to the day, in 2008. And the same situation happened with my auntie. Like I told you, my favorite auntie, we would talk, we would call, but I didn't see her and talk to her. It was like a year or so before I even saw my auntie. And then the next time that I saw her, she was laying in a bed unconscious, just like my mother. It was like deja vu. And so I walk into the hospital room where my uncle is. My uncle says, "Terry, you need to come and see her." I was like, oh my God, okay. And so I go see her, and I walk into the hospital room, and I hold her hand, and I tell her that I love her. Again, she's unconscious. She didn't hear none of that. Right. And I loved her, and I kissed her on the cheek, and I walked out of the room. 30 seconds later, she flatlined. Listen to me. You don't always get that second chance. It just doesn't happen. If you have those people in your life, your loved ones, mother, fathers, whatever, if you have them in your life, make time today to tell them that you love them, and tell them that anything they need, you be there for them. Listen, even if you have an ought with them, just because you have an ought with somebody, just because you got a grudge against somebody, does not mean that you don't love them. Do not, my saved and Christian folks, do not miss heaven because you're holding a grudge against somebody. Don't miss your blessing because you're mad at somebody. It is time out. This society and this life, the way we live in life right now, is so crazy, and we don't get that opportunity all the time. We got our kids that are leaving out. They're going to the store to get an Arizona and some Skittles, and they come back, and they don't come back. They're on the news. You got, celebrities leaving here at an alarming rate. There was some celebrities that I read about that died, didn't nobody know. And they had been dead for, months. Nobody knew. Can you imagine what their family felt like? Your family, can you imagine the level of guilt that their family felt? That their loved one passed away and then nobody know? Because you didn't go and check on them. Check on your people. Check on your people. Love your people. Because of course, everyone knows that tomorrow is not promised. It is not promised. And what I want to do on this podcast today is to put out there, cherish those moments that you have with the people in your life. Because what you don't want to do is what you don't want to do is to go on Facebook a year from now and read the memories. We need to make sure that we are loving each other. That's what God has ordained for all of us. Love thy neighbor. Because we just never know, you guys. You just never know. Again, shout out or rest in peace to Luke Perry and his family. Anyone that has lost a loved one, no matter what the circumstance of how you lost them, shout out to you guys. Peace and blessings to everyone who's listening. Just make sure that we are loving each other on today. Let them know you love them. Even if you're mad at them, love them anyway. Because you don't want that guilt on your shoulder. I can promise you that is a uneven weight. You don't want it. I love you. I did my part, and keep it moving. Until next time, I'll see you guys on, I'll be another podcast on next week because I'm only doing a podcast on Mondays and Tuesdays now. So I will see you guys next week. You guys have a blessed Tuesday. Have a blessed rest of your week. Have a blessed rest of your month. And remember that common sense ain't always coming. We love you here. And if you ever need me, hit me up. If you want to join me on Facebook, it is facebook.com/bullsfan40. If you want to join the Facebook group, it is facebook.com/The Common Sense Show TV. You guys have a great rest of your day. See you next time. Peace.